status report. David Whitaker from our Director of Planning and Zoning, who present the monthly status report for VDOT activities in the county. Mr. Whitaker?
You did just receive that today. You got an email and you got a hard copy in that.
Yes.
That other package there. The main things on it, that are highly interesting is the 609 bridge. That was supposed to start on the 17th. They backed that until January. The Dykeman Road over Horsepen Branch, that's been backed off for a while too. So you'll notice the signs on Shula Road have the detour signs coming up. The 637 and the 643 bridges, which is Giles Road, Bent Creek, those have slowed down. They're going to be closed a bit longer. VDOT's just running a bunch of different stuff. Michael tore up a lot of stuff in Chesterfield, the Beaver piled in. They're spread thin. There's snow removal on all seems to have worked very well this time. Wayne did get this on the front page of the paper about the bridge, so everybody will get that notice tomorrow. And I'll try to answer any questions you may have.
Questions, comments from board members? All right, thank you, Mr. Whitaker. Item number 2, a resolution to request Maryland Way to be accepted in the VDOT system.
Yeah, the surety paperwork is not complete on that, so you will not be getting that tonight. I got an email yesterday. They were hoping to get it to me this morning. That didn't happen. My guess is first thing tomorrow morning is probably going to be in my basket. We'll get that in January. The inspections, the 90-day period for that whole thing is in January, and your meeting is before that date, so it should create a problem.
All right, any questions, comments from board members? All right, item number 3, a special exception permit. I'm sorry, item number 4, special exception permit. During the regular meeting of the Planning Commission that was held on November 26, 2018, the Commission voted unanimously to recommend approval of an application to construct a wireless support structure over 80 feet on a 204-acre parcel owned by John Gray Palmer. Copy of the application was included in your board book. Questions or comments from board members? Mr. Whitaker, did you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I don't. I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you may have. The representatives for Verizon and Silco Partnership are here this evening if you have questions for them. Have not received any comments from the public, yay, nay, good, bad, or indifferent on this, and folks seem to be excited about something in the county that can help them out.
Any questions from board members? All right, thank you, thank you, Mr. Whitaker. Move to approve. Don't really have a deep. Oh, yes, it do.
We've already had a public hearing.
That's exactly right. All right, need a motion to approve the recommendation come from the planning commission. Sorry about that. Question or comment? Not all those in favor, let it be known by the use sign of aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, the motion is carried. Item number 5. While she's coming, I'm going to read the resolution here, and then I'll come down and present the resolution to we have an honorary resolution to be presented to Pamela Conyers, who is retiring at the end of the year. When she comes out, I'm going to read it from here since I can see better here, and then I'll come down and I'll bring it to you and I'll present it to you. How about that? Resolution of appreciation from the County of Amelia recognizing Pamela H. Conyers for dedicated service as treasurer of Amelia County. Whereas Pamela H. Conyers began her service to Amelia County as a deputy to the treasurer of Amelia County on 11 January 1988, then elected as a treasurer starting in January of 1996, and has provided the citizens of Amelia County 31 years of dedicated and faithful service. And whereas, since that time, Amelia County has seen population increases from 8,711 to 12,948 residents, and county budgets that increased from $8 million $568,491 to $32,082,198. And whereas, during her period as treasurer, Pamela H. Conyers consistently ventured into the world of technology, moving forward from paper and adding machines through simple and basic computer products to today's advanced systems, while striving to increase efficiencies and using evolving processes for the betterment of her office. And whereas Pamela H. Conyers valued and pursued educational opportunities not only for herself, but that of her staff, and always staying on the forefront of change, effectiveness, and benefits for her customers. And whereas, as the season, years, and people have come and gone, Pamela H. Conyers has been a constant delivering services, managing operations and people, and being a repository of knowledge that will be hard to match or duplicate. Now therefore be it resolved that the Meade County Board of Supervisors recognizes the loyalty and dedication of Pamela H. Conyers, extends appreciation for her steady and dedicated service in her career as treasurer of Meade County, extends the love and affection of the grateful citizens of Meade County, and wishes her many years to come of good health, fun, and relaxation on the sands and sun of Holden Beach. Congratulations.
And Wanda Fleming. So, I hope y'all enjoy working with them. I'll switch. Oh, and I'm sorry, this is my guy, Dave. Here you go, put your right here. Thank you. Thank you.
Again, congratulations. County old and new business. And the old and new business, we got the committee appointments. Following appointments will expire on December 31st, 2018. District 1, on the Planning Commission. You need 30 more days. District 2, Janet Ashford, Board of Zoning Appeals.
I have not been able to talk to her, so I'll need some more time too.
Okay. District 4, Renee Winfrey on the Planning Commission.
Mr. Chairman, I've talked to Ms. Winfrey. She's supposed to serve another term.
Do you want to make that motion?
So I'd like to make a motion that we reinstate Renee Winfrey to the planning commission from the 4th district.
All right, got a motion for discussion on the motion. Not all those in favor, let it be known by the use of sound of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, motion is carried. At large, Marty Scott for the Social Services Advisory Board.
Mr. Chairman, I have spoken to her and she does want to do another term.
We got some information this morning from the Social Services Department, and I think Mr. Gore can speak to that. Ms. Scott, I knew she'd been there for a while. She transitioned from administrative board to advisory board. Ms. Pullen thinks she's already had the 2 terms on the advisory board. So if we could put this off for a month, or maybe Mr. Gore can give us some direction right now.
There's a 2-term limit.
There's a 2
Yes, sir.
term limit, yeah.
Okay. That's it.
Okay.
All right. District 3, vacant Industrial Development Committee.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
We had several good recommendations from the IDA, but due in part to, in large part to, Mr. Tatum having his business located within District 3, I think it's appropriate for Dennis Tatum to be placed on the IDA. And I'll so move.
All right, got a motion. Further discussion on the motion? Not all those in favor, let it be known by the use of sound of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, motion is carried. Okay. All right, we're at item number 6, free clinic for Powhatan. Connie Marslow will address the board on the free clinic of Powhatan. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Taylor, the board, and the county officials. My name is Connie Boswell. I'm the director of the Free Clinic of Powhatan. Powhatan has had a free clinic there about 10 years now, which provides free medical, dental, mental health, case management services to the low-income, uninsured folks in Powhatan County. Now, I guess Powhatan is a little bit of a Christmas present for you, because I'm here to tell you that we get quite a few calls from Amelia residents needing dental care, medical care, and stuff like that. Medical, we really don't take care of. But what we are going to do, and I talked to Mr. Harvey about that, we would like to offer free dental care to your low-income, uninsured, meaning if they have Medicare. Medicare does not pay for dental care, so Medicare patients are fine, or Medicaid patients are fine. But they would need to be the senior population. With this population, they would not pay for these services at all. What we would provide to them is cleaning, x-rays, extractions, dental fillings, and dentures. Dentures meaning probably the most important thing, because there's a great deal of seniors that are not, have no teeth in their mouth, and their health is greatly affected. So basically, when I talked to Mr. Harvey, I said, let's just wait to see what type of population comes, how many people we get, how many elderly call us. We receive all our funding through private donations, foundations, businesses, churches, so on and so forth. The patients do not pay any money for their services. So the clinic thought we would just leave it. We would not ask for any funding or anything from Amelia at first let's see what happens. If we get 5, 10 patients, let's not worry about it. If we get a plethora of people calling us, then we'll come back and see if the churches would like to help out or do what. But I will send information. I have given Mr. Harvey information on the clinic and on the dental program. And talk to the churches, talk to whoever, and it really is a great, great service for these people, to be able to have their teeth taken care of for no money whatsoever, get dentures. So that's it. So that's our Christmas gift. So thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
Questions, comments from board members? I'm familiar with your clinic. So what we'll do now is you'll see what kind of clientele, whether or not some of our folk will be using your facility. At the moment, it's an information thing.
Right.
And we'll see how that materializes in the future.
Right. And when I say senior, they can be from 60-something to 85, 86, they need them all taken care of, so.
Thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening.
Merry Christmas. Okay. Item number report on the water tower cleaning at the November Board of Supervisors meeting. The board requested, a report on the process of the cleaning of the water tower. And that, in the interim period, we've got additional information, but we want to.
That information came in this week, and it has been, included in the supplemental
And the supplemental, that's
packet
right.
that you have in front of you. The title is Procedures for Conducting Underwater Inspection and/or Cleaning of Potable Water Storage Facilities. And this was put together by Randy Jones and Sam Carroll of D&B. And you can see they still have some work to do, but the instructions were to have something back within 30 days. And I think this gives a pretty good description about what folks are gonna have to, what the procedure to get cleaned is.
Okay, we've got the information. Questions or comment, board member?
Yes, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
I believe the motion was to come to the board this month with a plan. This is a procedure, there's no dates. What is the plan to go forward?
The plan to go forward is to keep B&B engaged, to work through the process, to talk to and work with the Department of Health to come up with an improved procedure to make this thing happen. And I
understand. My question is, when is it gonna happen?
Well, we were given instructions to start with to have it done in 2 days, which was not possible, especially with the holidays. It took us a while to get with B&B, to get them under contract to do this. I asked them to please give me something to provide to the Board of Supervisors at this meeting, and this is what they've given us. And we're looking for a little bit of instruction here tonight as to exactly how the board wants to move forward after having seen this. Do we instruct B&B to continue to move forward? Obviously, they have talked to the provider company down in Dallas, and they've gotten some numbers from them. Do we want to have them continue on with the process? We're just looking for some instruction. If I don't hear anything differently, they're going to continue to move forward to massage and get something that the board can say nay or yea on.
All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I asked Mr. Hogan a question.
sure.
We're sorry, it was southern corrosion.
Southern Corrosion is a company that we have under contract to maintain the existing water tower.
So we have a contract in place with them, they will take care of it in 19, will they not?
They would clean it at 19, but what they don't do is they do not, they will clean the tank.
They have to drain it.
That is good.
They'll clean the tank, but they're not going to make the water system function. They're not going to bring in a bladder or a substitute holding tank or anything like that, so we can maintain our obligations with the fire suppression systems and, water, fire hydrants, the protection at the nursing home, the protection at the garment factory. That's on us.
We won't have that even with the divers mucking up the water, will we?
I'm not an engineer.
You have to talk into that.
I-
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not an engineer. I have talked in length with Randy Jones and Sam Carroll. There are a lot of issues. If you all wish it would be simple enough to just go in there and put the vacuums and clean, but it's not that simple when you're dealing with the Department of Health and all the requirements that are out there.
Thank you, sir.
Just got this information today.
Yes, sir.
So if there's a lot of information to decipher, they're making some points, and I haven't read it all the way through myself, but they're making some points about some modifications that can be done in order to giving you enough information here to proceed to look at, what's happening here and then make some decisions regarding just what do we do? And, how to get this thing taken care of. I think we were asking you that.
Yes, I am asking that we schedule the divers to arrive.
Mr. Chairman, this is gonna take a while, and this part of the group get this all together properly. You can't do this through force, threat, or intimidation.
This information is in the hands of folks that's supposed to get it done. And all Mr. Scott is saying, you got to see it get that done. Answer to you. You got this information and you move forward in terms of.
Except for the fact that it's not as far along as some folks would desire, are we headed in the right direction?
We are.
Mostly. For instance, step 3, it says VDH strongly recommends that the tank be removed from services. It's not required. And the dive team says it's absolutely not required. So the argument about a lot of the things that need to be in here about valving off and all that is just not true.
What do you know, what have you qualified?
Again, you got the information, this is gonna be shared with your engineers, right? I mean, this is gonna be shared with B&B and the people who are involved.
The engineers,
Created by them.
Yeah.
they're the ones that are bringing it to us.
Right.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
When I was in Dallas last week, I visited the dive company and spent about an hour talking to them after spending many phone calls with them about the details of this. So it's not like I don't know what I'm talking about. They can do it without taking the tower offline. They do it all the time. It's required in Texas for every water tank once a year. It's just not common practice in Virginia. So people are scared of it, but it's not that difficult. I know that they've been in touch with the dive company and things are progressing, but I just think it's time to just get it scheduled. They're not gonna be able to do it for 2 months anyway, so why not get it on the schedule and then work all this out between now and the time they're supposed to be here?
And really, that's what you're trying to do. That's basically what you're
They
trying to do.
have a week open right now in the last week of February, if we commit to it now.
Essentially, that's what you're trying to do.
No, but if we take until January to decide, that window's gone.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
Isn't there another issue as well? It's not just a matter of cleaning. It probably is another issue of whether the tank needs, more than just cleaning on the inside. We've had the outside paint, I think they did that an additional time instead of taking it offline and doing something on the inside.
Yes.
There's certainly at least probability that something's gonna have to be done on the inside, which is gonna be in addition to
Yes.
cleaning. And so, as a result, southern corrosion, we need to understand, I need to understand more fully where southern corrosion fits in, our contract with them, how all of that manifests, and work in that regards. So I think it's premature to try to do something outside of that until we have those answers. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the dive company, as part of the cleaning procedure, does a thorough inspection according to the American Water Works Association specs, and they determine whether or not anything else needs to be repaired. Some things that need to be repaired can be done with water in the tank, with a water-based epoxy system that can be done while it's full. They may, and it is a probability, as Mr. Whitaker said, they may discover something in there since it's been so long since we did anything with it, that it does need to be drained. But their opinion at the age of this tank is that they're not gonna find all that much that needs to be repaired. And you can ask them to provide this to you in writing, I'm just relaying what they told me.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Not any need for motion, Mr. As far as I know, I'm concerned, that they've got the information, and he's given the report, he's provided the information, and they're moving forward, as far as I'm concerned. You've heard the comments coming from the board in terms of, as expeditious as possible. I mean, case makes waste as far as I'm concerned, but I'm sure that you and the folk that you're working with understand not only the urgency, but also understand what's involved. So I want to leave it to the folks.
Mr. Chairman, I think we're at step two. Step one, we've got cellular corrosion under contract and paying them over $10,000 a year, so we should have quite a bit of money in escrow. And it says right here, the contract requires cellular corrosion to take the tank out of service in year 2019 for cleaning and repainting the interior, okay? Therefore, the county will be paying an additional $27,000 for services that the county has already contracted with cellular corrosion. So I think we already, we got cellular corrosion already lined up for 2019 for the interior. So all we need to do is step two, and I went through this last month, potable water to our constituents that use this system, and fire suppression to the different agencies and businesses that have fire suppression, like nursing homes and so forth. Those two things we've got to know. And so step two would be, I would say, for Mr. Harvey to get B&B to continue on with step two, which is how do we maintain potable water and fire suppression. I've said go out maybe 5 or 6 times, so I'm saying go out again, if that's what it takes, it's what it takes. We cannot take any shortcuts. We deal with people's health. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, one other point is that if the divers go in there and find that there's no repairs to be done, the draining and interior painting of the tank could be determined not necessary.
Could be.
Could be. So that $27,000 that people are referring to would not have to be spent in that case.
Thank you. Okay. Front row taken. All right. What else do you need from us?
Let me, you know, let me get something straight. I'm a little in the dark, not the fast stuff in the back. If you got Mr. Taylor under a 2-week obligation here, a 6-month obligation, or a 90-day obligation, I want to know, and I don't want him cranked. What do you understand it to be?
I understand it to move forward as expeditiously as possible.
Then that could mean 90 days, it could mean 6 months, whatever it means. I just want to make sure I don't only browbeat or push down anymore.
All right. Continue to file.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
All right, item number 7. For the County of EMD Select Project at the November Board of Supervisors meeting, Supervisor Scott requested for the County of the EMD Select project, and that information was provided. That's questions or comments from board members?
Mr. Chairman, I'm ready to move on number 8.
No, I submitted a whole list of questions to you guys and didn't get any reply from anybody, but I'd like to know the answers to all the questions I gave to Mr. Harvey.
I got 7 questions, and all the board members up here got them as well.
Yeah.
I talked to Darrell Goff about it, and I will get you the answer to a couple. He's on vacation, he'll be back January the 7th. I'll get you the answer to most of these, but there's several in there that I'm not going to answer, because I don't think they're appropriate. So I will get an answer to some of these. Most of them, the answers are already in the materials that folks have had. So I will resend the materials and highlight the answers.
Okay. Further questions or comments?
I have one.
All right.
The individual
questions?
Push it, Mike.
Yeah, it's not on.
There you go. All right. Item number 5. I'm sorry, yeah, item number 5. Under 8. A request for refund of overpaid taxes has been submitted by the Commissioner of Revenue. The request was included in your board book, requesting an overpayment of taxes, which has been submitted by the Commissioner of Revenue.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to approve. Further discussion on the motion. Not all those in favor, let it be known by the use sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, motion is carried. Item number 6, farm equipment exemption ordinance. Item number 9, Supervisor Scott requests the board revenue review of the farm equipment ordinance. Copy of the minutes regarding the ordinance is included, and I believe some information has been provided relative to it, and that's quite a bit of information, but in essence, what does it say?
Well, Mr. Chairman, what I provided was copies of minutes from 3 meetings back in April, beginning in April 2003. And it was the budget development meeting was the first one, when the discussion came up about tax on farm machinery. And the discussion went something to the effect of, it's only bringing us in $50,000. It's really not worth the time and effort it takes to do it. Why don't we do away with it? That was the talk at that meeting, and the discussion was, let's set the rate at 0, and we'll do away with it. The second meeting was the public hearing. The board held a public hearing and talked about the zeroing out the rate for the farm machinery category. Went from, and that's the second set of minutes. Third set of minutes was the budget adoption that showed that the Board of Supervisors in 2003 adopted a budget with a rate of 0 for farm machinery. And it has not come up since then, to the best of my knowledge, until just recently. Now, there has been quite a bit of dialogue back and forth between some staff, Commissioner of Revenue, and County Attorney. And I considered putting this information into the board packet to bring everybody up to speed a little bit better. And I didn't, because it included conversation from attorney giving advice. So that's protected from the public. So we have provided that under a separate cover. So you had that information in front of you in this amended supplemental packet. And that's where this is in front of you tonight. Actually, Mr. Gore is here. He can address anything else, any questions that anybody might have.
Questions, comments?
Mr. Chairman, why are we digging this back up after all these years? Did I miss something somewhere?
The reason is there's no documentation anywhere except in 15-year-old minutes that this has occurred. And the Commissioner of the Revenue and the public really don't understand it. We just wanted to get the ordinance updated to match what we do.
So,
And
Mr. Chairman, are we going to add the taxes back to farm machinery? Is that what it's all about, or what is it?
No. The question is, if the ordinance needs to be updated, then that's got to be done. You got to do that first, correct? You got changes and so forth that, in fact, if you've had changes, so you want to bring that ordinance updated, and that's what.
right, and that's not only what I'm proposing, but the Commissioner of the Revenue has taken it upon herself to rewrite the ordinance and submit it to the lawyer, and it's ready to go. We just need to advertise it and bring it in front of the board for approval.
Mr. Chairman, my question is this: why wouldn't the Commissioner of Revenue come in here and explain this to us, rather than Mr. Scott try to bump them through?
That's not a problem with who brings it to us.
I understand that. I'm not that idiot.
That's not.
And if you read the history and all the emails you just got,
I've really,
you'll see that we've been talking about this for quite a while, and I've been involved because she wasn't getting any satisfaction out of the county administrator.
Is it ready to be brought to, is it ready to be brought to the board for action? It's not ready.
Excuse me, it would need to be advertised twice like any other ordinance, and so if you wanna, and what it would do is, bring it up to date with, so since 2003, the General Assembly has added other categories of farm-related machinery and property to that statute that allows the county to exempt such property. So what really, I think what the supervisor and commissioner are asking for you to consider is to update the county's ordinance so it clearly matches the current state law and clearly matches what the county policy has been.
Right.
The county's policy has been to set a zero rate, which you can do. But you can also, instead of that, you can just exempt that property. So it's just exempt, it's not something where you assess it and have a zero tax rate. So that's what the ordinance would do. And you know, the commissioners provided me with a draft, and we can have that ready to go for your January meeting. It would just need to be advertised. And in order to do that, though, the proper motion would be to direct staff to prepare that and have it, and to do the advertising and prepare the ordinance for consideration in January.
See no problem with that. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I do have one question prior to mine.
Sure.
Mr. Gore, having an action of the board, in minutes, isn't that common? Isn't that just the way, isn't that just the way it is?
It is, but it depends on what state law sets out. For tax exemptions under the statute, the county is supposed to do that by ordinance.
Are there other ordinances that, are outdated, that you're aware of, that maybe this and others might be coordinated with?
There may be, and I think, you know, one way to approach that would be more comprehensively, and that would be to think about, as you go into your budget cycle for next year, think about putting money in for a service that would codify your ordinances. Now that's a comprehensive process that takes a year or so, because they've got to work with staff to go through files, get all your old ordinances, you know, compare them to state law where the authority is derived from. So there could be other examples, Supervisor Whitaker, but I don't personally know offhand.
But having ordinances in place, if ours is not, if it's not coordinated with parking, and so ours is, in essence, what the state says, or?
Well, it depends again, because sometimes the state law just says, here's what you have to do, county, here's what the law is. Sometimes it says, county, you have the option to do this by ordinance. In this case, you have the option to do this, provide this exemption by ordinance. It's not an automatic exemption. It's not an automatic rate of zero. So
And it's confusing.
it just depends on how the state law is drafted.
It's confusing.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So, Mr. Chairman,
That's what's the pleasure?
as I said, Ms. Walsh has prepared a draft, and I have copies for everybody on the board and Mr. Harvey if they'd like it, so they can be prepared for when it comes later.
That means that, what we're saying, essentially what I'm hearing is that you put it in format that then allows you to advertise it properly, bring it to us
And put it on the agenda.
Put it on the agenda.
So we need a motion for
So
that.
I need a motion for that.
I move that we instruct staff to advertise the ordinance for farm equipment and all the other categories, there's what, 13 of them.
Got a motion. Further discussion on the motion? Not all those in favor, let me know by the use sign of aye. Aye.
Aye.
What opposed? Ayes have it, the motion is carried. Okay. County Administrator's report.
Mr. Chairman, I think the next thing though is, Ms. Squire, she's here to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it is.
And then we've got two items,
That's right.
for the amended agenda.
Ms. Squire, questions to address the board of supervisors, please come forward, state your name and make a comment, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Clara Squire. I live on Arches Creek Lane. And I'm here tonight to ask a couple of questions that have been bothering me about Secondary Road into where I live in. In the past years, that Arches Creek Lane was a dirt road. It stopped at a certain distance. Then, about 2 years ago, this road continued on out. So, my question is, the road that I live on is off of Archer Creek Road. So I was wondering, is it possible the same way this county done large court, is it possible for they to do the same thing to this road off of Archer's Creek Lane? Well, I'm asking this because I carry a bus back, drive a bus back up in there. And to me, by the road being bad and the bus going back in there is messing it up more. So I look at it like, so if the county property that I have on my property, I think the county should have some responsibility in taking care of this road. That's the only thing I'm asking for, is the county to take part of it. But reading what Mr. Harvey had gave me, about in the early 2000, a mayor passed an ordinance that outlawed private road subdivision. I'm not living in a subdivision. It's just a family that all backing it together, and just like we need help with this road. My dad had the road, but before he died and everything, the land was turned over to us, and he had built this road up by me, just like I said, by me carrying the bus back in there for 30 years, so that messed the road up. So that's all I'm asking. What do I have to do to get this road to build it back up? That's all I want to know, is do I have to deed part of the land so they can come in? What do I supposed to do?
All right. Mr. Whitaker, it seems like it's more like a private road that needs to be talked to. How do
Well,
procedure?
the Archer's Creek thing took a little over 25 years to get that done. The rules at that time on rural addition were a whole lot simpler than they are today. There is rural addition money possibly available under the 6-year plan, but it has to be executed in the 7th year. But no more than 5% of the money in the 6-year plan can go towards that. So the amounts of money that we get, we're talking nickels and dimes at the end of 7 years at 5% adding to those. Pretty much the stance today to take a private road and get it into the VDOT system, is all the dedications to the right-of-ways need to be done. The road needs to be engineered to VDOT standards, and I'm not sure what the minimum standard would be, but we'll use rural rustic as an example, because that's the lower end of the scale, and I don't know if they'll do it that way or not. But to get it to that standard, it has to be, one, the right-of-way is dedicated, the road has to be engineered, then it has to be constructed, and then a resolution from the Board of Supervisors asking that this private road that's been constructed to VDOT standards is accepted into the VDOT system. Now, that's a very simplistic explanation of what needs to be done. On the rural rustic, and again, I'm not sure they would go that route because the engineering requirements for a VDOT road vice rural rustic upgrade of an existing VDOT road. So my guess is it would probably cost about $75 to $100 a foot to pay for everything that I've just talked about. And somebody has to pay that bill before it's accepted into the system. VDOT will not come out and build that. And again, you could go under the 6-year plan, under rural additions, and you might be able to get there in about 25 years. But it doesn't allow you to carry that money for more than the stuff. It's changed a lot since, the young lady, Miss Hicks was the young lady when she started that project. And it just got done a couple of years ago. And that was more, the board early on said they would take up that challenge. And it was more of a moral obligation and some pulling strings and promising and doing some stuff. They got that finally done because I'm not real sure how it got done, but we do know it got done. It's
So-
not a good answer.
So how did, Lodge Cove came about then?
I'm not sure about Lodge Court. I'll have to do some research and stuff on that. I want to say Lodge Court was a VDOT dirt road, and we upgraded that under rural rustic, but I can't swear to that. I'll have to look that up. And it could take a while to find those answers too. If we don't have the paperwork, it's going to do some research to try to figure out what happened.
This time, you still got time to do it, regardless of that.
If I'm not mistaken, I thought that was done out of grant money, that it came from a grant that was.
It was very well, man.
Yeah, well,
It's DHCD.
DHCD.
The homes were older, the lots been there a lot longer, and for some reason it just got bypassed in the 40s. DHCD chipped in about the same time we were doing the Russell Groves program, put that money up. And Ms. Squires is exactly right about the county adopted an ordinance in early 2000, and we didn't have any choice because VDOT said you're going to lose your maintenance money unless you adopt an ordinance that outlaws private road subdivisions. You can keep them, but you're going to lose all of your maintenance money. So I guess every county in the state probably at that time.
But that applied going forward, that didn't apply
That's
to
true.
anything that was already in existence. What was in existence was vested, and everybody likes to use the term grandfather, and that's what it was. It got grandfathered in as the laws changed, but it didn't affect anything that was there at that time. It's everything that's been done since that time has been required to have VDOT spec roads.
But still, it got to be a way somewhere. Maybe a little fine clause in there somewhere, there's somewhere in there that it can, somebody, the county can help somewhere.
To the extent that, that any research or any information that we might either be able to get or find that, would provide some type of assistance, you'll keep on plowing there and see.
We'll look.
And see, keep on looking there and see what we can,
How much did you come out of that city?
I can ride out there and look, but we've already got 3 or 4 roads that are pretty much in the same state that are on their rural addition project that just, they will linger and linger and linger.
But I don't,
It's all based on limits.
but I don't think it's fair for people to live here and have to put up with this. I know the state's supposed to be short on funds, but I still say it's a loophole somewhere in there that you can find to make this work.
and if
But
there's,
it's all up to the people to do it. But if you want me to do the research, I will do the research.
and if there's a resource that, that, across to assist you, we'll keep on.
Keep your eyes wide open.
Okay.
But I will do the research, yeah, okay?
You're very welcome to.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming, bringing that to our attention. All right, you wanna take the,
Yes, sir. With,
two amended items?
Dr. Smith and Dr. Reesner are here with the school report as well as a request.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, appreciate the opportunity to be here this evening. We have two items that we want to share, and both were a result of action at the school board meeting Monday night. And I'm going to ask Dr. Reesner to present the first one, and that is the approved calendar for the next school year.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, as you might have already learned, our school board approved the 2019-2020 instructional calendar. We'd like to share a copy of our calendar with you and cordially invite you to attend our 2019 convocation, which is scheduled for Monday, August 5th, 2019 at 9 a.m. And we'd also like to point out that our first day of school will be Wednesday, August 14th. We're very excited already.
Thank you.
Dr. Reesner, folks, we will expect to see you on convocation, right? You have a commitment there, I hope.
All goes well, yes.
Okay. The next item is, you have a copy in your packet of the request for appropriation of 2018 carryover funds from the school board. The amount is $308,091. And the purpose is to offset unforeseen and non-budgeted required expenditures for this current fiscal year. Carryover balance was verified by the county audit that was presented last month, and we are requesting that appropriation to Fund 1, school operations.
All right, that information was sent to us.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Dr. Reason, I think that y'all, that you're asking to, for this offset, this money that's, we call it carryover money too. I think it's, I'm picking my throat here. I believe that it is warranted, and I would therefore would make a motion that, we would, refund back to the school system the $308,091 that we, ordered as carryover. Hope that you send it expeditiously.
We certainly will.
All right, I got a motion to grant the request. Further discussion on the motion? Not all those in favor, let me know by the use of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it, the motion is carried.
Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate it.
Okay. The second item that we amended for, we actually didn't need to because it's number 8 or number 19, item 19 in county administrator's report. So if you'd like, I'll just run down through here.
That'd be good.
County administrator's report, waste management check for the month of November was $62,130. That's up from the average that we have been running. Southside Virginia Community College has got their latest newsletter. Any questions about that? We'll do our best to get you an answer. Department of Social Services Annual Financial Statement. That is under tab number 13. Very clean audit. If anybody's got any questions, Ms. Cade is here. That's really not her department, but I'm sure she would be the one to get us the answer if you need one. The Commonwealth Regional Council is including their items of interest under tab 14. The Virginia Association of Counties Financial Report, is under tab 15. Piedmont Soil and Water Conservation District got a grant, assistance program for septic system pump out and repairs. We've had this thing, it's been an ongoing project, they expanded the area. It initially was, basically for the Flat Creek watershed. Anybody's got any questions, they would contact our office, we'll get them in touch with the folks that, they need to be. Item 17, the Virginia Legal Aid Society has sent their financial statements in. Item 18 is just basically notification, approved budget adjustments for fiscal year 19. Ms. Cade, would you be so kind as to run through what those 3 or 4?
Sure. They are all supported by revenue that we received, so I'm just putting the revenue amounts into the expenditure lines to be spent. The victim witness grant came in a little bit higher than we thought, and the only reason we even need to make this adjustment is because it helps our victim witness coordinator spend to the penny what she has left for her financial submissions to the state. The second one, that amount was just $1,479. The second one, the Sheriff's Department received several reimbursements for expenses, as well as a transfer from the state forfeited asset bank account. So I've provided documentation for those. And the third was the Parks and Rec Department just lost a small amount of food in their freezer when we lost power from Tropical Storm Michael, and that was just 1,020. They're all very small amounts, but routine.
All right, question or comment from members? All right,
Okay, the updated motorized door project, item 19. You can see the instructions that, Mr. Goff was given. He and Jerry Wayne Williams, found 2 vendors to, go look at things. We actually added, another stop because the initial looking that we did for mechanical door openers was, for the library, so we included that. I'm looking through the supplement. Now, where did the last page of the book?
It's double-sided, it's in the supplement.
Not in my supplement. Okay, there you go. All right, if we put it on each door, because most of these are double doors, put them on each door, you can do the Administration and Humanities Building breezeway entrance from Dunn Street, administrative entrance in the breezeway, the extension door at the back, and the social services front door. You can do the General District Court entrance from the ADA ramp. You can do the Dunn Street entrance to the lobby of the library. And you can do the main library entrance from the foyer into the library. If you do both doors, the total project would be $28,665. You can see in the notes, the contractors are recommending only that a single door be equipped at the location with double doors. And the second sheet is just the single door estimates. And those same locations, you can do the entire project for $15,435. We've only got 5% in there for contingencies, and we're doing the wiring. So, that's our best estimate.
And Mr. Chairman, motion's already passed for 15,000, right? 7 locations.
All right, got a motion, further discussion on the motion. Not all those in favor, let it be known by the use sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have, the motion is carried. All right, does that take care of your?
That takes care of every item that was on the agenda. We do have a closed session, I think, scheduled.
All right, let me go through the board members' comments first. District one, board members' comments, District one.
We have, on 616 and 641, that road should be, completed within a week and a half. Change the right of way from a stop sign to a straight through. And, we're also trying to get the grass cut on, Bunker Hill, I'm sorry, East Bunker. We've had a couple of deer accidents up there. We had one deer accident, and Mr. White said he would get it this week.
All right. District two.
Mr. Chairman, I have some fairly lengthy comments I'd like to make pertaining to last month's meeting, so if you want to go on and come back to me.
No, go ahead.
Okay. This board's operating rules has a line that reads, "No member shall use any language or gesture calculated to wound, offend, or insult." I believe I was all three of those last month, and I am due an apology. I was personally attacked on several points. I will not counterattack, or I won't even argue about it. That's not who I am. Since most of the public only knows what happens in these meetings by either being here or watching on Facebook Live or reading in the Monitor, I wanted to take a few minutes to explain my side of some of these accusations that were hurled at me. Not only to the public, but also to the rest of this board. There were so many, I may not actually touch on all of them, but I'm going to try to get the ones that are most important to me. I was accused of trying to drive 3 members from this board and tearing the county administrator down, and that I want to destroy the board and the county administrator from the inside. This is simply not true. First, I can't destroy something from the inside when I haven't been allowed in. But secondly, and more importantly, I'm a builder, not a destroyer. I'm not trying to destroy anything or anybody. I'm all about making good things happen and stopping things that make no sense. All I want is a county administrator and board of supervisors who are open and willing to work with me and welcome my knowledge, my curiosity, and my drive. Some members of this group have made it clear that that isn't possible, and it's never going to happen, as long as they have something to say about it. So yes, if these board members must go to allow this board to be highly functioning as it should be, I'm not opposed to that conclusion, and yes, I will help anyone I think is right for the job and who wants to run in any way I can. I'm not doing anything out of order, I'm giving some comments.
Okay.
In fact, I've already spoken to 5 people who want to run, and the first thing I told them, you can ask them, is if all you want to do is run to unseat another board member, you shouldn't run. Whoever is on this board needs to be able to disagree without getting angry and taking things personally, and be willing to do the work. We need to be a mission and vision-driven board, not an ego-driven board, only with each member only out to show who has the bigger stick, the most experience and the most influence. For me, none of this is personal. I don't hold any grudges, and I'm willing to work with any open-minded, forward-thinking person to do what's best for Amelia and its residents, including these 5, if they were only willing to allow it. I was also accused of lying about the cost of the DMV going into the treasurer's office on Facebook. Also not true. To lie, I would have had to post something I knew was untrue. At the beginning of this whole DMV mess, I posted something about it to gauge the public's response to where they thought it should go. the overwhelming support was the treasurer's office. Someone asked me in my post, which I didn't even mention the $200 I was accused of, what do you think the cost of putting the treasurer's office would be? And I replied, about $200 to $300. This was information I had at the time from the treasurer, who had met with Darrell Goff and Barry Browning from the DMV, and were told all that needed to be done was add chicken wire from the top of the office wall to the ceiling of one office, and to add 4 cash drawers, which the treasurer agreed to pay for out of her cost center. This quote presented tonight in the packet is new. I've never seen it before. It's inflated. The $2,200 that was thrown at me at last month's meeting, I had never heard of either until that night. What the public doesn't know is that leading up to the decision to put the DMV in the county administrator's office, I sent, as Mr. Barnard put it, email after email to this board, pleading with them to put it in the treasurer's office with legitimate explanations as to why. All went ignored, unanswered, no discussion, cold shoulder. And let us not forget, we've added a new employee to the rosters in the county administrator's office. And in today's Monitor, there was an ad for another part-time person for the DMV office. So there will be annual costs involved as well that would not have been necessary if it went to the treasurer's office. I'm more than ready to let the DMV issue go. It's done, and it's a great thing that we were able to maintain it in the county. I just hope we all learn from the exercise. I doubt we will, but I remain ever hopeful. I was also accused of saying the finance director is a dime a dozen. I have no idea where this came from. I keep every email I've ever sent, and I've searched them for the words dime and the word dozen, and I can't find it. I think our finance director is great, and I think Carla knows that. We have our differences of opinion from time to time, but we discuss them, we agree to disagree, and we work well together. I think she's highly capable, and I respect her a lot. And then I was accused, and on this one I'm not really sure what I was accused of, but the implication was clear that something fishy was going on between me and Dr. McKinley. And that my fingerprints were all over it, and I was trying to get rid of him. This is so far from the truth, it's just ridiculous. I was one of the few in this county that defended him. I argued against the $10,000 audit that I called a witch hunt. I still believe it found nothing. I have not seen the results. I've not been allowed to see them. I voted for the audit, we all did, just to prove that nothing illegal had been done. I thought it had to be done just to get it over with. But none of that's been made public. So I want to let this board and the public know my true relationship with Jack McKinley. I think all of you know by now that it was then and is now very important to me that this board, our school board, the county administrator, and the superintendent have a very close and trusting relationship. My feelings on this will never change. It's the only way we're ever going to succeed. So I talked with Jack McKinley for the first time really at the Christmas parade 2 years ago, before I was even on the board. We learned we had some things in common. At that time, I made it my mission to try to build a bridge between our two boards, Taylor and Jack, starting with me and Jack, hoping others would follow. Boy, I didn't know what I was up against. I attend every school board meeting I can. I try to get to know each of the school board members and offer my support. They've been great to me, and they know I have their backs. During the short time I knew Jack, we discussed very little school business. I just offered him my support for anything he needed within reason, of course. I did meet with him 3 times for lunch over 6 months, and I would talk to him not about school business, but about personal things. We'd go to the Mexican restaurant over in Powhatan so we wouldn't get interrupted by anybody in the county that we knew. I discovered he speaks Spanish fluently, which is something I've always wanted to do, so I was quite impressed. But anyway, our lunches flew by very fast. We talked about a lot of personal things. Sorry. We talked about his dead son. We talked about my permanently disabled daughter. We talked about his woman religion, something I've always been curious about. You see, we had something else in common. We're both men without a country. He was under attack from all sides, and I was being ignored and not welcomed by my board, even back then. Jack's my daughter's age. I took kind of a fatherly interest in him. At one of these lunches, I told him, "You're being too cocky, too condescending, not contrite enough, especially with this board." I told him if he didn't appear to truly accept responsibility for what had happened, and he needed to be more apologetic, or he was committing political suicide. And if he didn't change, it probably would not end well. Not that I know this is fact, it's just my opinion. But it was too late, the rest is history. Jack McKinley is a good man. He did a lot of good things for this county. He also happened to be a financial management disaster and was way out of his league when it came to the school finances. He trusted the wrong person too much, his finance director. He had to go, I knew that. His ticket on the railroad out of Amelia had already been printed and it was waiting for him. But he needed a friend during a difficult time, and so did I. So, by the way, none of these men has ever bothered to ask me about my relationship with Dr. McKinley or the school board to this day. All I was asked once in a closed session was, "Which board do you work for?" As if I was a sort of spy for the school board. I don't work for any board. I work for Amelia County. I was scolded by one board member that I swore an oath of loyalty to this board when I was sworn in. I didn't. I swore an oath to uphold the Constitution of the U.S. and Virginia and to faithfully and impartially discharge all the duties incumbent upon me as a supervisor, which I plan to continue to try to do. I was also slammed last month for suggesting that our county administrator have his annual appraisal every year as laid out in his contract, which we are about to do in closed session. I honestly can't understand why this is even an issue. All I want to do is make sure that we all have input into determining the county's goals for Taylor, measure his performance against those goals, and to make sure that he also, as a representative of this board, faithfully and impartially discharge his duties. It shouldn't matter what someone's last name is or who they're kin to, what differences he may have had with them in the past. Faithfully and impartially, that's all that matters. He needs to be held to the same standards we are. And then, the ugliest attack of all. Everyone hates my guts and wants me off all committees and boards on them. I don't believe this to be true. Part of this board maybe, but not all. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to do the right thing, to improve our schools and to help Amelia grow and prosper and to move forward. I have a Christmas card I just wanted to read to you that I got the other day. I won't say who it's from, but it's from one of the boards that I sit on. Roger, thank you for your dedication to blank and our mission. I appreciate your willingness to always ask the tough questions. They will serve to make our services even more impactful. I wish you a blessed Christmas, blah, blah, blah. This is the way it should be. And this is what I'm trying to do for this board. This woman and I did not get along in the beginning, and now we completely respect each other and work very well together. She was able to put her personal feelings aside and do what's best for the organization. And that's all I'm asking everybody else to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Excuse me. All right, District 3,
I don't have anything additional to share.
District 4,
Mr. Chairman, if I have to make an apology, then I'll do it the correct way. I apologize to Mr. Harvey, Mr. Whitaker, Ms. Cade, Ms. Offer, and Ms. Poole, who's not here, and others, Richard Jones, who work in the county administration's office. But more special to that man, like John, for the way he's been bullied and the way y'all been bullied around. So I apologize. I did not come to your support soon enough. You work for us fine, not for one. You work for us fine. And I will not ever let you down again like I did the first several months this year.
okay.
So that's my apology, Mr. Chairman.
All right, great. In District 5, I don't have anything that I'm going to say this morning. I will say this, that we try to operate as open and as transparent as possible. And then maybe we all need to do a self-check and try to understand. Anyway, but maybe we ain't that good, I don't know. But I know that my responsibility is to this county. And I made some boo-boos too, you know what I mean? In fact, I made a boo-boo last meeting by allowing motion to be made after we had the meeting. And that's illegal. I mean, that's not in keeping with rule of order. Anything that's not on the agenda, I cannot deal with. That's not correct. Anything. So, and I kind of got detracted because I knew better afterwards. I said, oh my Lord, I did that. But anyway, and I apologize for that. Anyway. But the idea is that we're all human. And we're all prone to make mistakes. But sucking it up and saying, okay, I made a mistake. Try to do what's right and prevent making mistakes in the future. That's all we can do. That's all try to get along. And Iggy just said, I'd rather see a sermon than hear one anyway. I'd rather one should walk with me than merely show the way. The eyes of a better pupil is more willing than the ear. Find counsel is confusing, but example always clear. I can soon learn how to do it if you show me how it's done. I can watch your hands in action, but your tongue too fast may run. And the best of all the preachers are men who live that way. For to see the good in action is what everybody needs. And the lecture you deliver may be very wise and true, but I'd rather get my lesson by observing what you do. You see, I may misunderstand you in the advice you give, but there's no misunderstanding how you act and how you live. And we try to live so that we set good examples. That's all that I have at this point. We do have a closed session. I would like to go into closed session. Council, can you give us
Pursuant to Virginia Code 242-3711A1 to discuss the county administrator's performance evaluation.
All right, I'd like a motion. I have a motion for discussion on the motion.